it's something that's the reality is Detroit is the second most stressed city in America. We have a lot of opportunity here to do a lot of cool things. There's a lot of new things that are coming to Detroit and a new a school of thought. There's a new school of thought that's around wellness in itself. And people want these sessions for their organizations. People want these sessions for themselves. Organizations want it for their people, right? So we're moving in a different, I think we are gearing up to be a leader in wellness.
What up, though, Black Fridays family? Welcome back to another installment of the Black Fridays podcast. Today we have another special guest, but make sure that you tap in with previous episodes, hit that like, subscribe button, and then share with a friend, of course, and follow us on all major streaming platforms. Now that we got that out the way, I got to introduce you to my guest, Madala of Kozen. How you doing today, brother?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, man. So I have another tech founder, not another tech founder like I'm one, but in terms of we had tech founders on the platform before, but I have a tech founder on the show today, and you are aiming to revolutionize wellness in the workplace and then how people are able to experience wellness with Kozen. So could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Kozen. What we do is we connect wellness professionals. So I like to think about it like people who do yoga, meditation, sound baths, assisted stretching, and things like that. So we connect those people to businesses for one-off sessions. So these wellness professionals can make money, or recurring sessions for predictable revenue for them.
Love it. So how did you land in this space? Are you big into yoga, wellness, sound baths? Is that how you live your life, or how did this all come about?
Yeah, so I can start with the company journey, or I can start with my personal journey, the whole thing. So I guess we could start with the company journey for now.
Okay.
So we actually set out to solve a problem, and the problem that we were solving was that wellness professionals wanted more access to opportunity outside of the yoga studio. And from there, we were like, okay, well, how do we do that, right? It's like, okay, if you're a new yogi, you might not know where to go get slots for yoga sessions at like a yoga studio, right? Or you might not get the best times because you're new, right? Or you don't want to drive from studio to studio to studio all in one day. You want to have more ownership over your time and money. So we kind of set out to build a platform where that's possible.
Got you. So we're going to dig deeper into that story and the background, but I got to introduce you to my favorite part of Black Fridays, which is Freestyle Fridays.
Okay, cool.
So you got some bars for us, or how you?
Do I have some bars? I don't know. I'm not too sure. I was listening to the Carter 4 on the way over here. Lil Wayne is one of my favorite artists, but no,
for sure. Okay, all right, for sure. So it's just Freestyle Fridays, a random assortment of questions. They all about you, so I just need you to answer each one and answer honestly.
All right, cool.
All right, bet. So what would you say? So you say you listen to Carter 4, but what's something else that you got in rotation right now?
Ooh, man, I'm not gonna lie, Drake.
Okay.
Drake and Party. What's
Party Next Door.
Yeah, Party Next Door. Yeah. That album I think is a good album. Not gonna lie.
Okay, I ain't heard it yet, but I heard a few songs off of there, and they sounded pretty solid. So.
Real catchy, and I feel like it's gonna go crazy this summer as well.
Okay. So so what's your favorite app to use on your phone?
Ooh, favorite app. My app. Ooh, so
or most used.
Yeah, most used probably. Which app do I like a lot? Maybe Calendly.
Okay.
Calendly is a really dope app. I love the experience. that Calendly gives you and all the optionality it allows you to have.
Yeah.
We've actually been sending Calendly links and reschedules back and forth.
Right.
And we're here today. So it shows that
it works.
It works. It works. And I like the experience that they've really engineered. And the founders, Black founder as well.
Right. Yeah.
Really cool. Really cool. I actually built something kind of like Calendly like back in the day when Calendly first started, but you can see a ton of value.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. What would you say is, so I know that you have a history of developing. What's something cool that you've developed in terms of software?
Yeah, so one of the things I'm most proud of is actually something that was born right here in the city. And it's really cool because we were able to build a very good user experience. And I've touched a large majority of the foundation of that application. That would be the Rocket Homes iOS application. I got my start really just I got my actual start at at Rocket, being an intern.
Okay.
And from there, I was able to come on the team, right? They wanted me on the team, and that was a really cool experience. And I got promoted a couple of times through there. So I had a lot of influence over the Rocket Homes app. Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
Pretty cool.
And then last but not least, do you have a favorite dish to make?
Favorite dish to make? I'm not sure. I think I got a favorite dish to eat.
Or that too.
so I love Caribbean food. I'm Caribbean by heart. So oxtails, rice and peas, right?
What's the Caribbean background for you?
St. Lucian.
Okay,
St.
nice.
Lucian, yeah. So definitely love all St. Lucian food. Or just Caribbean food.
Okay. Who has the best Caribbean food in the city or around the city to you?
So 8 Mile. On 8 Mile, there's that one spot. I'm blanking on the name right now. But there used to be Gloria's on the east side.
Okay.
That was good. But I'm not sure if they're still around after the pandemic. I'm not
sure. You're talking about Jerk Pit?
No.
It's another spot?
Yeah, Jerk Pit is one. But there's a spot on 8 Mile it hits every time.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure. Shout out to the Caribbean food.
I'm telling you.
Have you tried Making Me Hungry 313? It's a food truck.
I probably have. Because do they go to the events? Like at some
they
events,
do.
they pull up?
I think they do. Yeah.
Yeah, I've probably had that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan of them. So they right by the crib. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Easy.
Yeah. Exactly.
I gotta try that out again.
And it's good. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have. I just was a little
Most definitely. So appreciate you for partaking in Freestyle Fridays. You passed successfully. So
good to know.
So wanted to go back into your journey in terms of you founding Kozen. So we had talked about how you have a developer background and you intern at Rocket. That's how you got your start. And then you had some other stops along the way. So what made you want to go the developer route? Because I'm sure that it helped you in terms of being a founder now.
Yeah, man. Really, really good question. So how I got my start into even just the tech space was I ended up getting a job at the Apple store out of Troy. And we were the flagship store for Apple in Michigan at the time. It probably still is. And I was, after like a couple months working there, we had our first product launch, right? So everybody's in early. I'm really excited. And the first thing I noticed was how people were lining up outside of the mall for these phones.
Yeah.
I was like, how is a company having lines of people, outside the door for this product? And over time, after selling MacBook after MacBook after MacBook, iPhone after iPhone after iPhone, I noticed it was the connectivity between everything. Like you buy an iPhone, and you come back, you're going to buy the MacBook. You get the iPad. Now you all hooked up.
Got the Apple Watch.
You got the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
We communicate on MacBooks probably. So what I noticed was this ecosystem that they were able to build. And I was like, brain blast Jimmy Neutron. Like it's in the software. So then I was like, you know what? I have to learn this software. I'm going to learn it. I don't know what is going to come out of it, but I'm going to learn it. So then from there, I was able to basically teach myself iOS development. It was really cool because my buddy who was going to University of Michigan at the time was interested in iOS development as well. And we literally locked in for a summer. We were like, we're not going out. We're not going to any parties. We're not going to any extra functions, no hangouts. We are locking in for the summer and we are going to learn iOS development. So from there, we ended up locking in, doing that. We built an AR app and a couple other apps as well. But the best one I think that we built was the app that rivals Calendly. So it was like something that was like an iMessage app that you just send to your boy or your buddy, and he can pick what time he wants to meet.
Okay.
Right? So we knew he wanted to meet, and it was just like, okay, if I send you a list of times, you just pick one, almost just like Calendly, literally.
Yeah.
Started the same year as Calendly as well. That's why I said it's interesting. Yeah. But we were just trying to build projects for our portfolio.
Yeah.
So then we built an AR app where kids could learn about the planets in like AR. So it was like really interactive. And that was cool. So I kept on stacking projects. And then I ended up applying to a good amount of companies, and Rocket picked me up. So Rocket being right here in Detroit, I was like, this is perfect. An iOS opportunity in the heart of Detroit, where I'd been going to school and things like that. And I was like, okay, like this is amazing. So then from there, like I said earlier, got brought onto the team, got promoted a couple of times, and then I ended up going to exploring more opportunity from there.
So what year was that when you had started doing a project with you and your friend?
I think that was 2016, I want to say.
So that was kind of like around the time, because I'm trying to understand if it was...
Or maybe 2017, yeah.
Because it wasn't always the cool thing to like kind of want to know how to code or learn. I feel like that was kind of like around the time when it was starting to get more notoriety, or people started to think of that more so as like career options and things like that. So what was it like navigating that space, knowing that, you know, that wasn't necessarily the popular route to business or career?
That's a great question. Great question. I think when I really think about it, it was kind of tough because you're venturing into a new space. You don't know the outcomes of it. You think you're going to make a lot of money because you're like, engineering is the thing, but I never wanted to do hardware. I actually went to one of these universities, not going to say which, and I said, hey, like I think iOS development is going to be the next biggest thing. I need you guys to put a curriculum together. Like right now, I'll help you do it. And they're like, absolutely not. like we are not. It takes years to get the curriculum green lighted and things like that. And I was like, you guys are moving too slow. I want to do this now, and I want to be a part of this, and I want to learn like with my friends.
Yeah.
Right. And they just were not with it. So to answer your question, it was kind of tough because I was like, it was really like a bet on myself. I was seeing cool apps come out. I said, yo, I can do this as well. So yeah, it was kind of scary, but I ended up, persevering and getting through.
Got you.
Yeah.
And on the personal side, so would you deem yourself a yogi?
Well, and that leads me to LA. Right?
Okay.
So I ended up.
So you spent some time in LA after.
Yeah. So how that happened was I got promoted a couple of times at Rocket. We ended up launching. So I was there from zero to launch, and that was really cool. And then I was able to do experimentation on the product side and things like that. Like working really closely with the product team, design team. So much fun. And then I set my sights on, after learning more about venture and angel investing and how these companies get started, really, I was like, okay, like I want to try something new. So I bounced around. I did Houston for a little bit of time, Vegas for a little bit of time, and then I set my sights on California because I learned that, hey, like this is where all of the tech stuff gets built, right? And then so I worked for a startup out there, and then I did some other contracting with product management and product, and that's where I learned more about wellness. And so I was doing hot yoga out there. I was doing yoga on the beach, Santa Monica. I was doing meditations on the beach in Venice. And that just became a routine for me. After I learned how effective hot yoga was, I was like, wow, this is insane. Like how I felt leaving hot yoga was crazy. Couldn't even describe it. But I always wanted more, right? And the people I was frequenting there with were amazing people as well. So I think the community helped me like stick to it. Got you.
Mm-hmm. And then, so was it those lived experiences in California and getting more acclimated to that realm? Is that what sparked the idea for Kozen, or was it something completely different? And how did that come about?
Yeah, so I think that my background in engineering and just my experience with wellness definitely played a big part. in that. But really it was helping one of my friends who was a yogi, like make more money, get more exposure. Like that was it. And after I told her, I said, hey, like this is something I can do for you. Like here's a example of what I can do. I was just like talking to her through it. I said, yeah, what if we do this, this is this? For example, I can do X, Y, and Z. She's like, yeah, that's cool. And I was like, okay. So then I said, I'll be right back. And I'm not going to engineer it for you, but I'm going to do like a design mock-up. So I showed it to her and she's like, yeah, I'd definitely use that. I was like, I don't believe you. So let me ask some of your friends. And then I did basically customer discovery interviews with like 10 of her friends. And then from there, like never looked back.
Fire.
Yeah.
So going from there to actual implementation, what was that process like? So what was the step that you took after your customer discovery?
Yeah, so after customer discovery, it was just more of like a feedback loop. So what I was able to do was talk to them about what they think they would want, go do the thing like in design, in the design platform. I think I was using, I don't think Figma, I don't know. I was using some design platform, but I would come back to them a lot and say, hey, like, is this how you would expect your purchases to work? Is this how you would expect X, Y, and Z to work? And then it was like a really collaborative process that, and then I would always schedule the next meeting, right? It's like, okay, cool. Thanks for your feedback. I'll get back to you in like 3 weeks or like 2 weeks, right? And then as we started building more and more, we were getting more and more feedback and they were referring more and more of their friends to basically get on the platform. So, yeah.
Fire. Fire. And then, so how did you leverage a team? Did you do I know you said you initially said I'll do the design work, but who did the coding? Was that you or did somebody else start to code it?
Yeah. So for our experimental software that we were building, I was the one. So I said we a lot, but it was really just me. Yeah. So that's kind of how that worked. It was just me doing the engineering, but I definitely have more of a product mind. So I was able to organize all my documents and organize my notes and put things in perspective really easily for me to retrieve when I needed it. So just working closely with product before, like I said, like made that process a lot easier. Yeah. Yeah.
And were you still in California at the time or had you already came back to Michigan when you started to get Kozen start moving towards launch?
So I had ran 2 or 3 sessions in California, but that just because I knew like that was where like that was a thing.
Market. Yeah.
I mean, anybody can throw anything in California. People are going to show up. But yeah, so I would say like the more focused approach with the product was in Michigan. Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And then when this thing starts to get legs, when did you realize that moment where you were like, I might actually have something with this, and what was that like?
Yeah, so we ended up trying out these sessions in Michigan, right? And then people were like, hey, like, I think this would be cool if my organization did this. And I think this would be cool if my nonprofit did this. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess, but this is for like the yogi to make money. Like this is for them. We weren't really looking in that direction, but the market kind of pulled us there. And what ended up happening was we ended up serving universities, nonprofits, fraternities, sororities, and organizations, and just serving up these sessions is something that they need and want. They want to show that they care about their people in their organization, and they want to show that their people in their organization are valued. And that's kind of what led to us like making a little bit of a pivot into serving small businesses. Yeah.
So did it become like a double user experience for you, or did you completely pivot to focus on the small businesses organization?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Great question. So I would say, because we still get yogis and wellness professionals paid, which was the original thing that we set out to do, right? We're just doing it we're just able to pay them more because we are partnering with businesses, as opposed to saying, hey, you go do this thing, you go sell tickets, is based off like your pull, basically. So yeah, I'd say we're still doing the same thing. Yeah. So definitely more geared towards businesses though.
Got you. So the work was still getting done, just in a
different way, different capacity. Yeah.
Dope. How were you able to, or how do you seek out the organizations that you all work with, and then place on the app, and then also the talent in terms of the instructors for the different services?
So how that works is, well, a lot of it is word of mouth. So when we are first starting, I think when you're first starting a company or just getting it off the ground, I think one of the most important things is taking word of mouth very seriously. We've done a lot of sessions. We've done intimate sessions for these companies and organizations, and we've been able to ride on the coattails of word of mouth for now, which has been really, really good because we don't have any marketing spend. We don't have like email blasts going out like every week, which shows that we are still able to do these sessions and still be here. I think that's amazing. So as we grow, obviously we'll put legs on it, we'll put gas on it and things like that to keep on growing. But for right now, I think something that's really cool is that everything's referral based. Everything's referral based. And then even with the yogis, meditation teachers, breathwork teachers that we work with, that is referral based as well. So literally last Friday, I signed up like 4 wellness professionals to our platform just because somebody in our community, actually out of Bamboo, one of the Bamboos, referred them to me. And because of that, now they're going to be getting more opportunities when they come through the door.
Fire. How would you describe the Metro Detroit yoga and wellness scene?
I think it's a growing scene. So one of the things that we need to keep in mind, and I'm not proud of it, but it's something that's the reality, is Detroit is the second most stressed city in America. If that's not the most accurate data, because there are articles on this, but we're definitely top 5, right? Which is a problem. There's 50 states in America, y'all. So I'd say that we have a lot of opportunity here to do a lot of cool things. So I know Jamel is a yogi in the city. He does a lot of good work. There's a lot of new things that are coming to Detroit, and a new school of thought. There's a new school of thought that's around wellness in itself, and people want these sessions for their organizations. People want these sessions for themselves. Organizations want it for their people, right? So we're moving in a different. I think we are gearing up to be a leader in wellness, and it's going to take some time and some more infrastructure as we get more things like Kozen and more tools for these yogis to be discovered. Like organizations want their teams to feel well, but they don't even know how. It's not the person in HR's job to go get the yogi or vet the yogi or get the wellness professional or meditation teacher or whatever. But with a connection like Kozen, you can do that, right? You know they're vetted. You know they've already had conversations with the company. You know that these are going to be quality sessions. So I think with this landscape changing, I think we have a really cool opportunity to be a leader in wellness.
That's dope. Why do you think organizations should pay more attention to the wellness of their employees or the people that they serve in terms of scheduling sessions, services with a service like Kozen?
Yeah. So, I mean, the main thing we look at, the thing that's most important. Yes, Detroit is the second most stressed city in America, but I think another thing that is really interesting to look at is $500 billion are lost every year in productivity. That's insane. And what does it do to? Stress, anxiety, and depression, right? We all know that meditation, yoga, breathwork, sound baths have a direct correlation with feeling less stress, less anxiety, right? In some cases, heals depressive symptoms, right? Or realms of depression, right? So I think that more companies are turning towards that because they're seeing the new generation care more about wellness solutions, right? So whether you're working in marketing, design, product, co-working spaces, like this is top of mind for a lot of people now. And I think we have an opportunity to turn that into a positive and say, hey, we can make your companies more efficient. We can make your people more efficient. We can predict burnout in a way, and actually serve the people that want the sessions, and serve the organizations and make sure that they're healthy.
Fire. What type of transformations have you seen with some of the organizations that you've had a chance to work with and pair with the wellness services?
So at this point, we have seen, I wouldn't say we've seen a lot of transformation just yet. We have been getting a lot of one-off sessions, but we have gotten great, amazing feedback from these one-off sessions. Like, people say they feel fully restored. People say that they needed a meditation. They needed to chill out. They needed to just sit and do nothing, right? And a lot of the times, this is stuff like, it's almost like insurance. It's like, hey, like, you don't know you need it until something happens, right? Which is a very interesting way to think about it, because like, unless and as a business owner, you're like, hey, like, I'm going. It's like, damn, I really need to relax. I really need to stop. But like, if you had these pockets of rejuvenation along the way, you could just go.
Probably go further,
You can go further. And then you could be less stressed. And it's not a big deal because you're proactive about taking care of your mental health, right? So that's something that's, I think, is really cool. But we've gotten a lot of great feedback. When we launched our, I like to say, experiment on iOS, we had like 50 reviews on the App Store, all 5 stars when we were doing that. So, and that product was to help the yogis get paid like directly, which was really cool. And I think we'll revisit that in the very, very near future. But right now, the focus is on companies and organizations.
Can I ask what the business model of Kozen is? So you work with these organizations. The goal is to get the yogis paid, but how does how is Kozen able to keep the lights on, essentially?
Yeah. So what we do is we would throw an event, a wellness event for, let's say, your business, right? And then we'd ask you, what package deals do you want, or whatever. And then from there, we actually get the yogi what they're actually worth. So a lot of these yogis and wellness professionals, they
undercut.
I wouldn't say they undercut. They let's just say there are organizations that we know of that are not trying to pay them.
Got you.
What they're worth.
Okay.
And we come to the table like, no, they're gonna get what we believe is the right thing, right? And then what we're going to do in the future, hopefully, is do these recurring sessions, right? So maybe this space right here would book, 10 sessions with us, and then we could consistently give the yogi predictable revenue, right? That's what they want. They want to get paid. They think they're valuable, which they are, and we get the predictable revenue. So yeah.
And then you all charge the organizations to be the mediator of the services.
So, well, we're the mediator of the services. So, so the company would say, hey, for our team, we have 20 people, XYZ, Kozen, can you do X? And we'll be like, okay, hold on one second. Then we'll go to the yogis and say, hey guys, who wants to pick up X job? And they just fill in.
Gotcha.
And then so getting them paid what they feel like is fair rate, and then the companies get what they want.
That's dope.
Yeah. There's a lot of technology in the middle of that, but yeah.
Of course. Speaking of that, the technology in the middle, is there a lot of, could you go through that process seamlessly with Kozen in terms of less friction with like having to meet with this person and that person and all the, like, could it just be as seamless as I put in my request and then instructors show up on the day and execute?
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. Right?
Okay.
So you would go through our booking flow, you'd book, and then from there, that's it.
That's it.
I mean, if you want to text me and make sure things are going well, that's fine. but yeah, from there we take care of everything else. So we got feedback from our last 2 events ago that it was amazing. They were very happy that they were so hands off, right? And that everything was taken care of. They didn't have to worry about anything. But I think that is very, very, very important when you're dealing with wellness. If you're trying to book an event, there's 1,000 things you need to think of.
Yeah, but make it seamless.
Right. But I think that the fact that we have it where it's like, yo, you go through this process, we pre-qualify you through the process, obviously, you actually book. And then from there, we take care of everything. We probably probably, if you want to reach out, obviously you can. But yeah, I think that's really cool.
Okay. Have you ever had any issues or difficult situations with bookings in terms of like, hey, this organization was nasty to one of the yogis or vice versa? Like, well, I'm sure the yogis might not pull up and be nasty, but like, you know, maybe they weren't getting treated right at an event or something like that, or something went crazy. Any issues like that you all had to overcome?
Nothing, man. It's been a really good process so far. I think the community has really embraced us in a way where they're giving feedback at every step, which is amazing because like all of it has been things that are moving us in the right direction, right? So yeah, I mean most of the time they don't want to give us feedback because they're like, yo, this is just great. Like, we don't have to. So what I do is I do the after the event call, like, hey, is there anything we need to do better? Right. Is there anything that we could have done to make things feel better? And the client every single time is like, no, it's good. Like, it's fine. Yeah. So, yeah. So I think that's really good there. So I'd say overwhelming majority, good things.
Love it. So, Madala, how do you take care of your wellness and mental health thing? Yeah,
that's a good question. Yeah, so some of the things I do, I'd say I do write a lot. So before I go to bed, one thing I'll do is I'll write what I need to do for the next day. And I think that really helps me dump out of my head everything that I didn't get done today. Yeah. And what I absolutely need to get done tomorrow. But I'd write everything and then I'd pick 2 or 3 things. Like, okay, tomorrow's a win. Irrespective of what happens, tomorrow's a win if I get A and B done, or A, B, and C done. Being a founder and just navigating the space of talking to 1,000 people is prioritization is your best friend, right? So I just do that, make it simple, dump everything out, write it down, and then in the mornings when I wake up, what I like to do probably at least 3 times a week is just meditate. 15 minutes of nothingness before I open my computer, or like I might go on my phone when I wake up, which, I mean, I'm not the guy to be like, hey, I'm the perfect, because I'm not. Like I said, 3 days a week, not all the time. But I might, go on my phone when I wake up sometimes, which is not the best. But I do 3 times a week. I make sure, like, it might even go into the weekend, that I have this 15 minutes of solace for myself, because that allows me to really receive things, and it allows me to receive them and not react but respond, like those days. Yeah, and it improves your memory too. So if you ever think you're losing it real quick, just do consistent meditation. I think my longest streak on meditation through Headspace was like 264 days. So yeah, it's something that's really close to me. Yeah.
What exactly? I
like Headspace too. That's a great app. Back to your last question, I think that's a good app for the direct to consumer. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah. So what exactly is meditation? Like, if you break it down, because like, is it sitting in a state of nothingness? Is it like sending your mind somewhere? Like what exactly, how would you describe meditation?
Yeah. So my relationship with it really changed over time. So at this point in my meditative journey, I'd say meditation is recognizing. So there's a physical. Okay, so the physical, like the act, like you're actually in the room, right? So what that looks like really is just me sitting on the floor, cross-legged, literally, hands on my knees, or just like in my lap, right? And then that's the physical part of it, and then the mental part of it is just recognizing. It starts with recognizing just what thoughts come to your head. That's how you can start, right? Recognize that, okay, I thought about what I have to eat later today, or I thought about doing laundry before I go to bed, or I thought about work, or I thought about X, Y, and Z. And you're just recognizing what comes to your head. It's not sitting and doing, it's not thinking of nothing. It's recognizing what comes and what goes, and not really having too many thoughts about that. Okay. Then eventually you're going to get to a point where you're like, okay, I can just be. But at first it's like, okay, let's think about what's coming to your head, right? And then let's come back to the breath, right? And then something else comes to your head, right? And you get a little distracted. And you come back to the breath, right? So it's really just focusing on the breath, focusing on like the touch points, like if your hands are in your lap, right? Or just like on your knees, seeing how the body feels, checking in with yourself. Like we don't do enough of that, right? Like really seeing how your thighs feel, how your knees feel, arms, chest, really just relaxing in that. And then noticing what your brain thinks about, how you're breathing, how fast you're breathing, how slow you're breathing, bringing your attention back to the breath when the wind is off. It's okay to think about other things. That's fine, but bringing it back, you know? So those are a couple of things to think about when you do meditation. And that's kind of what it was for me at first, was just recognizing the thoughts, but now it's moved on to something else. So,
that's helpful. Yeah. That's helpful. So what do you see in the future for Kozen? What's in your crystal ball? How do you want to take it to the next level?
Yeah. So, that's a great question. I can't talk about too much.
Okay.
But we definitely want to serve more customers. We want to serve more customers in the realm of what we've already been serving, like in the nonprofit space. We see that to be really cool. We want to serve more small businesses and medium-sized businesses. That would be really nice as well. And get more long-term contracts to get more predictable revenue for our trusted wellness professionals. So I think just pushing forward there in the near future, over the next 6 months, is going to be a push to keep on telling people about what we're doing, coming on podcasts like this, right? That are super important to the community, and saying like, hey, we're here, book with us, come take a call with us, right? And making sure we're making a dent in the fact that Detroit is the second most stressed city in America.
Got you. And real quick, what did you think about that statistic when you learned about that during your research?
Yeah, I was, so I think when I learned that stat, I was fresh off of coming back from LA. And I had done LA for 3 years. Incredible experience. Love LA. But yeah, initially I was thinking like I can see it in people and things. But that doesn't have to be the case moving forward. I took it as an opportunity to change the dynamic around how we even interact with each other, right? Seeing opportunity more in every interaction, right? And doing more favors for people with not necessarily wanting anything in return, and just giving more. I have at this point almost 9 years of technical expertise. Like, I'll take a consultation call. I'll help somebody out for free. Like, it's not anything. It's really relaxed. It's cool. Like, I'll help you with your career, help you with your resume, whatever. Like, it's fine, right? So I saw an opportunity for us, especially, getting my start here. It was super important for me to basically yell it from the rooftops. So if you see me on LinkedIn talking about it, just know it's something that is super, super important to me, and I'm passionate about trying to solve it on the yogi side, right? Or wellness professional side, on the organizational side, which is serving, these nonprofits, universities, and then on the enterprise side as well. This is something that we can attack from all angles. And at Kozen, we've built a system to start doing that. Very, very proud of the team for that.
That's dope. How did you come up with the name Kozen? So
Kaizen means get better, a little bit better every day. It's a Japanese word.
Okay.
And I wanted an iteration of that. So I came up with Kozen, community, and Zen.
Dope.
So,
that's it.
Yeah.
See, I ain't pieced that together. So that's dope.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
So, Madala, where can the people find you? Where can they learn more about Kozen? What's website handles? Best way for people to get in contact with you?
Right.
Especially if we got any yogis out there listening, or businesses that want to hire you and work with you all. How can they get in touch?
Yeah. So we are on LinkedIn. Madala Mathurin on LinkedIn. Madala Mathurin. Instagram, madala.mathurin. We also have Join Kozen on Instagram as well. I think we have TikTok going now too. Join Kozen again. And then you can go to the website to actually book at getkozen.com, GETKOZEN.com.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you pulling up to the podcast, man. This was great to be able to learn about your journey and the work that you're doing. Very intentional and a lot of intentionality behind it. And then being able to connect these businesses with these wellness professionals is super dope.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me. I know we've been trying to get in contact with each other.
Finally made it happen.
I knew this today was going to be the day. Something told me. Using Calendly.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, man.
For sure. And everybody watching and listening, tap in with y'all soon. Peace.